Welcome, welcome. It's episode 14 of Gong Labs Live. I'm your host, Devin Reed. You know the drill. It's the weekly sales show where we're bringing you tips, tricks, and insights to help you close as many deals as possible. Now, if you're not already, go ahead and jump over to Gong.io and click follow after the episode. You'll get a notification every time that we go live. That's Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And you also get access firsthand to the rest of our content. Now, if you're part of the Gong tribe, folks that have been viewing previous episodes or coming in every week, just want to give you a big shout out. We wouldn't have a show without you guys. And you also know the drill. Go ahead and tag your best friend in revenue. That could be sales, marketing, enablement. Hell, you can even throw sales ops one if you want. We're also starting an email subscription list. That way you can get an optional calendar invite that you can add to your calendar to know every single time that Gong Labs is going to go live. You'll also get an email letting you know previous episodes that have aired, as well as a heads up for future interviews. So if you'd like to be a part of that email list, go ahead and click add me right now in the comments, and I'll make sure that we reach out and get you situated. Now, before you jump at the end of the episode, we have a huge giveaway over in Commission Corner with our producer, Gabby. If you're not sure what Commission Corner is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You do well in sales, you get commission. Well, here, we're gonna give out a fantastic giveaway. Make sure you stick around for that. And if you're watching this on demand, make sure you reach out to Gong Labs at Gong.io to submit. We don't get LinkedIn notifications once the episode's already aired, so make sure you reach out. Again, that's Gong Labs at Gong.io. Let's get into it. All right, so for today, I'm super excited to announce that we have another interviewee, Daniel Disney. If you don't know who he is, you probably heard of the Daly Sales. It's a website, but mostly known for its fantastic and very funny sales memes. And so we have a great interview lined up today. He's gonna tell us his story, a little bit about him, how he got the Daly Sales started, and then we have some hot takes as well. So make sure you stick around for those. Hey Daniel, thanks for joining us for an interview. Happy to have you. How you been?
Oh, I'm really good. Thank you for having me. Really excited to do this today.
Awesome. Likewise. Well, hey, it's not every day that a sales professional creates a huge online following of sales pros, especially centered around comedic memes. So for today's interview, I thought it'd be awesome just to kind of break apart your story, learn a little bit more about what you're up to and how you got to this point.
Yeah, no, sounds good. I'm really excited to open the doors to the world of the Daly Sales.
Perfect. Yeah, admittedly, I didn't know there was a person behind the Daly Sales. I actually thought that it was probably like a collective of people or something because there's so much good content coming out. So I think I thought this was like this mysterious, anonymous group coming up with all this stuff. So it was great to know it's just one mastermind.
I like the idea of this anonymous group. That sounds a little bit more exciting, but it is just little old me, and so many people will come up and not know it's me, and that was part of the purpose. Really, was to create something kind of neutral, something that was pure for sales and not influenced by an individual person or other people, but something that I try to make as purely sales as possible.
That's great. And so I guess first question to start us off is, where did the idea for the Daly Sales come from?
Yeah, so I mean, my background's sales. I've worked in sales since the first job I had, and obviously still selling to this day. And I started to create content on LinkedIn, writing blogs, and I started to see memes popping up on Facebook and never really saw any sales-related memes. And I saw a few pictures that kind of got me thinking of scenarios in sales. And actually, the first one I ever created was that scene from Dumb and Dumber where Lloyd asks Mary if there was like no one else left on the earth, would he have a chance with her? And he sort of says yes, and he kind of does that, so you're saying there's a chance? And it reminded me of all those times in sales where prospects say, yeah, give me a call back in 6 months or a year, and you get those salespeople that get excited like, yes, there's a chance. And anyway, I downloaded an app on my phone and created the meme, and it just resonated and was so popular on LinkedIn. It did the most engagement I'd ever had on a form of content. So I sort of kind of saw this opportunity where this was clearly hitting a sort of point with salespeople, and bit by bit created more. And what I soon realized was I was writing some sales blogs and some posts, and then these memes were coming out, and these were sort of here, there, and everywhere. And I kind of had this idea of, well, why don't I try and create a sort of central platform, a page and a brand that salespeople can follow, go to on a daily basis, where there is a mixture of great content, from entertaining to educational and motivational, and yeah, just sat on my sofa one evening, the sort of name, the Daily Sales, popped up. I downloaded a logo creation app on my phone and created the logo, set up the social pages, and got to work.
That's awesome. It's a funny story. I actually remember that meme. I don't know if it's for sure, though. I guess it's the first one I saw of yours, but my first sales job, my sales manager sent it to the team. And that was one of his phrases he would always say, like, how's that deal going? And you answer, he goes, so you're saying there's a chance, which is great. That's funny. That's the genesis of your meme creating. I guess like the next question would be, it sounds like, you kind of saw an opening, you shot for it. How did that transition from that very first meme all the way to what it is now? And I guess like, how did you really create a following, that's so dedicated to the brand?
Yeah, so I mean, it took time. The kind of key bit was creating and sharing original and try to make the highest possible quality of content in all areas, but just good content on a regular basis. And because everything that came out of the Daily Sales was sort of value, I wasn't, for the first year, there was no advertisements or anything like that. It was just pure value content. The engagement was high because it was good. There was a lot of humor content, which generally generates great, engagement on social media. And it was that sort of mixture of consistency, quality, just the right tone of content that the audience just grew quite quickly. And I think within the first 12 months, it grew to 100,000 followers, which just blew me away, because that whole year, it was just a hobby for me. I just found this opportunity to share stuff that I knew made me laugh, or, stuff that helped me in sales. And, it was great to kind of help other salespeople. It was amazing. And yeah, it kind of got to the 100,000 in the first year, and I sort of just didn't really know what to do. It was just amazing. And the growth was so consistent. So yeah, it just continued to do the same year on year, and it's had to adapt and evolve different forms. Video came into LinkedIn. So, I had to then look at creating video memes and video content and sort of ever grow with the platform. But here we are, 3.5 years in, just over 460,000 followers, and it's growing by at least 10,000 every month. And it's kind of been on that track for the last year. So yeah, for me, it's just about trying to make sure I bring the best content every single day and, evolve and adapt with the audience. But honestly, it's the best feeling when you share stories like that about how the meme was shared around. And, and I get messages all the time from people saying, we've got these memes on the wall, or we print off the blogs and, we use them in our meetings, and all that kind of stuff just blows my mind, because, for me, my biggest passion is helping salespeople, and it's great to have built a platform that does that.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. You've truly and clearly built a dedicated fan base and community. Well, what's the most challenging and maybe even the most rewarding part of making sure that community continues to thrive and evolve?
The biggest challenge is constantly creating new, original, and high quality content, because like I said, I've been doing this now for 3.5 years, and that's 3.5 years of creating sales memes, writing blogs, and creating content. It's a lot, and I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it, but it is one of the biggest challenges now, is constantly trying to find new memes to kind of put out there, or videos or blogs and stuff. But equally then that also becomes the most rewarding part, because when you do create something good and the audience, love it and get a lot from it, then that's an amazing feeling. So yeah, for me, it's constantly trying to find new sources of creativity, that are new ideas. And it's a bizarre thing, because if I was to look back at myself 10 years ago, and where memes really didn't kind of even exist, and to think that a big part of my kind of working world now is focused around, memes and social content. It's a bizarre concept, but I just try to keep myself as immersed in the sales industry as possible, so that I'm kind of talking about the points that are most relevant now.
Mm-hmm. So you might have covered it a little bit already, Daniel, but I'm curious, was there something specific in kind of your sales background that led you to this, kind of comedic route that led to the Daily Sales?
I wouldn't say there was like a specific situation. I mean, humor's kind of been a part of my life in general. I try to find the light in any dark place, and obviously sales, there's plenty of dark places that we all kind of go through. I think it was just having such a long career in sales, and I mean, I've done everything. I've done door knocking, cold calling, telemarketing, emails, pitches, pretty much every part of sales, different industries, different products. I kind of have really lived a pretty extensive sales career, and it's that mix of all those experiences, and for me, it's just finding a way to kind of put them into forms that are either entertaining or motivating. But what helps me do it and kind of helps me fuel through all that content is having lived that world, and continue to live that world. I will continue to sell for as long as I physically can, and that kind of keeps me in that wonderful world of sales that we all live in.
That's awesome. Where does your creative juice come from, and do you have any help creating your memes?
No, everything's all me. 99.9% of the memes are me, and that kind of creative juice comes from, I guess I find inspiration in two things. One is an image that will then make me think of a situation in sales, and the other is a situation in sales that will make me go and find an image. So if something happens, then I will look for an image that kind of attaches to that. But yeah, that's kind of where the creativity bit comes from. If I am looking for inspiration, then I'll immerse myself in content or conversations. I'll talk to salespeople, talk to sales leaders, pick up a book and read it, watch some videos, listen to podcasts. A lot of the Gong content has always been a big inspiration for me. A lot of the awesome blogs that you guys put out and podcasts and stuff. So sometimes that can just be the spark that kind of gets things going.
Of all the content you put out, obviously a lot of different memes in the meme world. Which one resonate the best? I mean, I know, engagement's easy to look at, likes, comments, and shares. And, while the passion is always, the why behind it, we always want to get that engagement up, right? To get our name out there. Which memes in your experience, have the highest impact or highest engagement?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, the very first one, the Dumb and Dumber one, will always be one of the sort of record holders, and it always hits home, that sort of, holding hope on those deals. But a couple of the other ones that have always done really well are the first day of the month and last day of the month. So, a picture of someone in a nice polished suit, and then last day of the month, they're battered and bruised.
Yeah.
That one always hits home. And what the tax man takes from your commission, that is always one that hits home. So usually someone crying or some sort of emotional scene where you open your pay slip and see how much was taken away, which, I mean, we can all resonate with.
So Danny, you've clearly found your lane, up and to the right in terms of growth and engagement. What advice would you give other salespeople, or maybe just revenue professionals in general, who are looking to really define and refine their own brand voice?
Yeah, so LinkedIn and social and everything offline as well, finding your voice in sales is a massive advantage. My biggest advice is, there's two things. One is practice. So the more you do, whatever it is, whether it's making calls, whether it's writing posts or creating content, whatever you do, the more you do it, the better you get. But the other bit is, again, to immerse yourself in the space and surround yourself with the best possible people. What I love, especially about LinkedIn, but equally, you do this with books and podcasts and videos, but you can surround yourself with some of the world's best salespeople, sales experts, and just consume that content. So whether it's their blogs and content on LinkedIn, their videos, whether it's the books they write, the podcast interviews they do, I've committed myself to every day be consuming the best possible content that I can find, because it helps, ensure that I'm the best possible that I can be. So practice and just surround yourself. We're not limited now to the people that are within those four walls, and there will be always great people around you closely, but we can now connect with people all around the world, some of the amazing salespeople that are out there.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, practice makes perfect, and in sales, practice makes paper. And it sounds like that's key.
I love that. That's really good.
Along with surrounding yourself with excellence, right? Getting the best content you can. All right, Daniel, thank you for the interview. Now we're going to move over to our hot takes, which is less serious and more fun. Are you ready for the first one?
I'm ready.
All right. So you are the sales meme god, if you will, and the video version are either called a GIF or a GIF. Which pronunciation is it?
GIF, but I don't say that as fact. That's just how I pronounce it.
I go with it. I go as GIF as well. To me, GIF is peanut butter, top of the line peanut butter. Okay. True or false? Listening to a book on Audible counts as reading it.
That's a really good one. I'm going to say true. I do read more physical books than I do listen to them on Audible. But I would say it counts.
I count it as well, but that's because I have an Audible subscription. I try to do both if possible, but I lean on the Audible when needed. Do you have any sales superstitions?
Ooh, No, I don't. But now I feel like I should. So maybe I'll create some. But no, not to this day. There's not been anything I've done superstitiously. So no. But now I feel like I need some.
No problem. Some people on the show have had a special shirt or socks that they wear for closing day. Thought I'd ask. Okay, you're preparing for a big presentation, maybe a pitch. What's your go-to pump-up song?
Ooh, go-to pump-up song. Probably something by Prodigy or Pendulum. I'm a bit old school. And yeah, I've got a few of their albums that are usually my go-to to get myself in the ultimate zone.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, what is the best compliment that a prospect or client has ever given you?
Can you come and work for me? I think that is the best compliment you can get from a customer, where they think you're that good. They want to hire you for their own company. So in my opinion, that is the best you can get.
That is a running theme on the show. I like that that's the answer. Okay, are you a fan of The Office TV show?
Yes, I love The Office, but I haven't watched much of the US version, more of the UK version.
Oof, okay. Well, hopefully this translates. I think the character's the same way. Are they the same?
Similar.
So since you're a fan of The Office, if you were to be a character on the show The Office, which would you be and why?
Ooh, that's a really good one. I mean, again, I don't know the character names by Trent. I mean, our key character was played by Ricky Gervais, who I think kind of created The Office. Whilst I wouldn't say I was necessarily him by personality, I absolutely love his character because he's just hilarious, and I've had so many managers that are like that. So I'll go with that, but I have to admit, I've used pictures from the US version of The Office in a few meetings that I've done on the Daly Sales, so I need to commit to working through it, because I've seen some of the clips from it. It does look hilarious.
I love it. Daniel Disney is the UK Michael Scott. That works for me. If you ever need help with translation for memes in The Office, I've admittedly only watched the US version and a single episode of the UK version. My cameraman says that's blasphemy, but hey, it's the truth. Okay, last question for the hot takes. What is the silliest or most embarrassing sales mistake that you've made in your career?
Oh God, silliest sales mistake. Okay, there was one I made, and actually I don't think I've ever told this story, so this is going to be a real first, but hey, why not? One of my first jobs was selling kitchens and bathrooms for a DIY store, and I was like 17, 18 years old, first job. Very, very arrogant after, sort of my first few months in sales, and was very good. Got quite full of myself, and one day I was late for work and walked up. I'd cycled in casual clothes. I think I had my trousers on, but I had a t-shirt on. Walked up and got undressed and put a shirt and tie on the shop floor in front of all the other staff and customers. And in my head at the time, that was totally acceptable because I was, the king of sales at that place. So for me, that I cringe when I remember being that person back then. Luckily, I've changed now, but yeah, that was probably one of the most embarrassing things.
That is pretty funny. Did anyone give you a hard time afterwards? Any clients wink at you?
I didn't see any winks, but my manager slaughtered me very quickly after and put me in my place. I'll give you one more because this one is also quite funny, but I went into work. It was actually at the same place. This was a bad stage of my sales career, I think. Went in after a very long night out with friends. Was very tired because I didn't get any sleep, and we had a showroom of beds, and I actually fell asleep in one of the beds in the showroom and was woken up by a customer. That was a pretty bad point as well.
Ultimate sales question. Did you sell that bed to that customer?
I didn't, but I wish I had done now, because that would have been the perfect end to the story, but I was not in a good sales place at that time.
That would have been a great plot twist.
And that would have been a really good plot twist, yeah. I'll have to remember that next time. If that ever happens, that's my mission now. Sell the bed.
That's great. Well, Daniel Disney, thank you again for joining us. Before I wrap up the interview, is there anything you'd like to promote on your behalf?
No, but if anyone's not already following the Daily Sales, please do check it out. If you work in sales, I hope you enjoy the content. And yeah, definitely has been great, honestly. Gong, I absolutely love, and I encourage everyone to check out Gong and definitely subscribe to your content, because some of the best sales content out there.
Cool. All right, Daniel, thanks again for the time. I'll talk to you later.
Catch you later.
All right, let's jump over to the commission corner with Gabby.
What's up, Gong Tribe? Welcome back to the Commission Corner. This week, we're giving away Daniel Disney's full social selling masterclass. It's a full year of access to dozens of videos, guides, cheat sheets, everything you could ever want on social selling. In order to win this $625 value, share your favorite sales meme on LinkedIn, tag Devin Reed, our Gong Labs Live host, and the Daly Sales, and we'll pick a winner and announce it next week. Good luck.
All right, folks, there you have it. Another episode of Gong Labs Live in the books. Make sure you check us out next week on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And as always, we have your weekly sales meeting brought to you by the Daly Sales. For all of our fans of Dumb and Dumber, when a sales prospect asks for a call back in 6 months, so you're telling me there's a chance. Always a classic. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.